hobby people, welcome to the next installment of Tales from the Peace Corps, and this is where I talk about some of the things that I did while serving in the Peace Corps. For those of you who don't know, I served in the Peace Corps in a small country in Eastern Europe called Moldova from 2014 to 2016. I was a small enterprise development specialist there, and so I actually recorded a video in Romanian talking about exactly all of my duties and responsibilities while I was in the Peace Corps. So I'm going to link that video down below, but I also wanted to give you all an English version of that video so you can know exactly what I did while I was there. So my primary goal when I was working there was to do grant writing. I was paired up with a female who had her own nonprofit organization, an NGO, and it was in the village that I was placed in. It was called Bobeka, and the office was at the school. So we lived like 7 minutes from the school. So, well, I lived like 7 minutes from the school, and it was on the third floor of the school building in like an old classroom, and we just kind of turned it into an office. She had 3 or 4 volunteers previous to me, and so she was kind of used to already working with Americans. She spoke very limited English, so we primarily had all of our interactions in Romanian, so that language training definitely paid off. And we had a volunteer club that consisted of about 15 to 20 other students that attended that school. It was a high school, and their ages ranged anywhere from, I would say, maybe 12 all the way up to like 18. And so it was really cool. We did a lot of activities in the community. We did a lot of fundraisers where we, baked goods, sold them to the community in order to have money to, put on other events. We did a talent show, which was really cool, where I taught the kids to dance. They did like all of these skits that kind of focused on just like day-to-day life in Moldova. And then we also put on like different events and parties in the community. And one of the things that I brought to the community, which was something that they really didn't celebrate, was Halloween. And so they had their very first Halloween party. We actually had 2 of them. Each year we did one. We charged whatever admissions fee to get in, which again, we used that money to give back to the community. So it was really cool, primarily with the organization. So I was kind of like a mentor to the volunteer club. And then also, in addition to that, I did a lot of grant writing for us to get grants for the actual nonprofit itself to put on different trainings for the event. These trainings helped out different groups of people, such as the youth, people with disabilities, and then also those small business owners. And so the first grant we wrote, we got awarded, I forget how much it was for, but we did youth training in which we taught the youth about the importance of volunteerism. Then we also did a program where we taught the youth different leadership skills, problem solving skills, and public speaking skills. And it was about 4 groups, and the goal was for them to create a project for the community that would help better the community, honestly. And so we had them present all 4. We had them all essentially write a grant to us, kind of detailing out what their project was and what their goal was and what they hoped to accomplish. And then we had them present the grant, and then whoever won out of the 4 groups, we would actually give them 400 Moldovan lei, which I think roughly translated to, let me do the math really quick. Let's see, divided by 21, which actually 500 Moldovan lei, which actually translated to only about $23. But that was actually a lot of money to be able to do, a small project that was ran by the youth or whatnot. So I awarded them the grant, and then they implemented their project in the community. That was a really cool project to do. I think the kids really liked it and learned a lot from it. The second grant that we wrote, we won as well. And with that grant, it focused on people with disabilities in the community. Infrastructure in Moldova is not all that great. So it's very difficult for those who have disabilities to have access to day-to-day things as simple as like going to the post office, being able to get inside of the grocery store because there's no ramps or anything for those who might be in a wheelchair or those who might have difficulty walking and might have to use some type of assistive device. If you try to go to the pharmacy to get your medicine, try to go to the dentist, just everything just to get into a building is very difficult, let alone transportation. I mean, there is no lift system for those who are in wheelchairs or things like that to have assistance getting on and off of public transportation. So the infrastructure there just is not set up for those who are disabled. And so the point of us doing the the training for those with disabilities was to give them a voice, to give them power, to encourage them to go and speak to the government so that they could implement these things in the infrastructure so that they could also have access to things that everyday people have access to. And it was just so great to be able to really connect with a particular group within Moldova that I don't think we would have probably connected with otherwise. And so I'm going to try and insert pictures as I'm talking, maybe here and there, just so that you guys can kind of see what some of these projects look like and the people that we helped out while we were there. And then the third grant that we got was for small business owners. And so there was a lot of awesome people in the community of Bobeka who had ideas, well, Bobeka and Hinchesh, who had ideas to create these small businesses that could earn them, one, good money, and two, give back to the community. And so we really wanted to encourage those who had those ideas to move forward on them and to pursue their dreams. And so the third grant that we won, we focused specifically on those who had a business idea. Some of them had already started, some of them were kind of in the beginning stages of it, but we walked them through the entire process of how to start their business from very beginning to very end. And what was really nice about the entire situation was my partner, she had her nonprofit organization, and so she kind of knew what it took to start a business. Even though it was a nonprofit business, I think on the side she had like a for-profit as well, even though what we worked on primarily was the nonprofit. But it was just so great for her to kind of have that knowledge base to be able to teach her fellow peers how to do the same thing. And so it was just so cool to hear all the different ideas people had. I know it was one lady, she was actually a teacher at the high school. She wanted to open up her own bakery. She could bake her butt off, and she baked a lot of healthy foods, which was something that wasn't really widely accepted, but such a niche market. So that was really cool. We had another lady who made honey, and she wanted to open up a business. We had another guy who, I think he did like deliveries or something like that, who wanted to open up a business. And there were just so many different business ideas, and it was so cool just to kind of help them further develop it, get them the right resources to really get their small business off the ground. And then outside of writing grants and doing trainings and things like trainings and seminars and things like that, I also just on the side I taught Zumba to the youth there, and that was something I really enjoyed. Before I left for the Peace Corps, I started doing Zumba classes and I fell in love with it. And so when I was placed in this village, I missed it a lot. I mean, I missed it. And so I was like, well, if I can't go and take a Zumba class, let me bring the Zumba class to me. And so I was like, let me just teach it. And then it will be something new that I can teach the community there. And so those who came, they fell in love with it. And I'll post a link to my playlist for the Zumba classes that I taught, because I actually created a curriculum for them so that when I left, they could continue on with doing the Zumba classes. And it originally started off with me just like teaching them how to dance, and then it started to develop into something more where either before or after class I would add some type of teaching element to it just to kind of help them further grow as well. And so I created a curriculum, and then I actually left that behind, not left it behind, but I gave that to the Peace Corps to give out to different communities there so that they can continue to use it while I was gone. But then I also recorded the videos of me dancing so that the kids there who still wanted to continue Zumba even after I left could have something that they could refer to and, guide them to continue their Zumba or whatnot. So that was really cool. And that actually really took off. I ended up traveling all over Moldova, going to these different villages, different cities, and teaching Zumba. Like, I would link up with other volunteers in these different communities and teach Zumba. And it was just one of the coolest things that I did during my service. I mean, obviously the trainings were really cool too, but just something that I created that was mine and that I was doing, like, that was really dope. And the other thing I did was I taught English. I did one-on-one tutoring sessions with some of the kids from the high school who were interested in learning English. And I think that was really it. And also, I served as a walking example, a walking testament to spread awareness of different cultures that exist in the world. Being a person of color, I don't think that a lot of people in Moldova was exposed to those of different nationalities, different races, different ethnicities, and I was able to debunk a lot of the stereotypes that they had regarding people of color, and really just kind of teach them and educate them and let them know that I'm just a human being out here trying to help y'all, you know. And it was cool in the beginning. They weren't really all that accepting, but as time went on, they saw that I came in peace and started to embrace me. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Let me know if any questions, comments, concerns that you all have or want to know more about. Again, I am an open book. I'm excited to share more about my Peace Corps journey. Next, I'll probably be talking about different foods that I had while I was in the Peace Corps, and then also maybe talk about dating in the Peace Corps, which I did actually date somebody there. So that's definitely a story for another day. But yeah, I hope you all are enjoying this series, and I will keep the videos coming. So yeah, comment down below, leave some love down in the comment section for sure. I will see you all in my next video. I hope you have a wonderful, awesome, spectacular day. Bye. Actually, I don't know how you all feel about this, but I'm thinking it's probably very fitting. I think my Peace Corps videos, I'm going to end them speaking in Romanian, just to kind of give a homage or give a tribute to the time that I spent there and also the language that I learned while I was there. So I'm going to do this outro in Romanian. Eu sper că voi aveți o ziua plină de distracție și frumoasă. La revedere!